Have you ever stopped to think that your greatest professional strength, the thing you're known for, could also be your biggest weakness? Well, today we're going to dive into something called the expertise paradox. How that deep knowledge that makes you so good at your job can sometimes be the very thing holding you back. Let's jump right in.
I mean, we all kind of believe this, don't we? Of course we do. We look up to the brilliant surgeons, the genius coders, the chess grandmasters. We see their incredible depth of knowledge as the ultimate goal. It's what we strive for, right? The peak of the mountain.
But what if reaching that peak is also like walking into a trap? What if that amazing, highly tuned brain, so powerful in one area, becomes kind of rigid and inflexible when faced with something new? That's the whole idea we're going to unpack today, the hidden dark side of being an expert.
Okay, so how does this trap actually work? Well, it all boils down to a couple of mental traps, these little blind spots that even the smartest specialists can fall into. Let's break them down.
All right, first up is something called cognitive entrenchment. Think of it this way. You practice something for years and years, right? Your brain builds these super efficient shortcuts to get the job done. But when a totally new problem shows up, one you've never seen before, those same shortcuts can actually steer you completely off course.
I mean, picture a chess grandmaster. Their mind is just a powerhouse for seeing patterns on that 64-square board. But throw a complex business problem at them, like a corporate merger, suddenly all those brilliant chess patterns are useless. Their superpower in one arena becomes a weakness in another.
Okay, the next big one is called functional fixedness. And this is something we all do. You know, you see a hammer and your brain just screams for nails. You don't even consider it could be a paperweight or something to prop a door open. Well, experts do this constantly, but with their super specialized tools and ideas.
Just think about it. A seasoned software engineer has used a certain programming tool for one specific task maybe thousands of times. Their brain is just wired to see it that way. It becomes so hard for them to step back and see, whoa, wait a minute, I could use the same tool to automate my entire team's workflow? They're stuck seeing only its most common function.
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. There's real research on this. Philip Tetlock did this incredible study and found that when it comes to predicting really uncertain, messy outcomes, the experts weren't necessarily any better than people with broader, more general knowledge. Sometimes being too specialized just doesn't help.
So this all brings us to a really cool concept, the shape of your knowledge. Yeah, seriously. Turns out the way your knowledge is structured is what really determines if your expertise is a trap or a launch pad for innovation.
So you've got two main types. On one hand, you have the I-shaped expert. Think of the letter I. It's all deep, one single line. They know their one thing inside and out, but they can be pretty rigid. Then you have the T-shaped person. They have that same deep knowledge. That's the vertical part of the T, but they also have this broad, horizontal bar of knowledge across a bunch of different areas. And that's the magic part. It lets them connect dots and adapt to new situations.
And get this isn't just about what books you read or the classes you take. It's actually neurological. It's about how your brain is physically wired. So here's what's happening inside your head. As you master a skill, your brain builds these amazing neural superhighways. They let you perform familiar tasks incredibly fast, almost like you're on autopilot. But, and this is a big but, your brain loves those superhighways so much that it gets kind of lazy about building new little country roads for challenges it hasn't seen before. So you get this trade-off. Amazing efficiency for a loss in cognitive flexibility. Okay, so if our brains are literally wired to do this, are we just stuck? No way. The good news is we can fight back. We can actually work to rewire our brains and build that awesome T-shaped profile. Let's get into 4 strategies you can use right now.
All right, here's your toolkit for becoming more flexible. Number 1, seek out cross-training. The goal here isn't to become an expert in something new. It's about borrowing ideas and mental models from other fields. Number 2, build diverse teams. When you surround yourself with people who think differently, you're forced out of your comfort zone. It shatters those intellectual echo chambers. Number 3 is practicing metacognition. We'll talk more about that in a sec. And finally, number 4, never stop learning. Pick up hobbies that have nothing to do with your job. It keeps your brain building those new roads.
Okay, let's double-click on that third one, metacognition. This is a total game changer. Seriously. It's basically the ability to step outside yourself and watch your own brain work. It's that little voice that asks, hey, why am I tackling this problem this way? Is this the only way or just the way I've always done it? It's literally the skill of thinking about how you think.
And that's really the whole point of all this. You don't have to throw away your expertise. Not at all. The goal is to build on it, to add that horizontal bar to your eye and transform yourself into a T. That combination of depth and breadth, that's where the real innovative power is.
So, all of this leads us to a totally new way of thinking about what mastery even is. It's not what you might think.
At the end of the day, expertise is a double-edged sword. It makes you incredibly efficient for sure, but it can also lock you into a rigid way of thinking. And just knowing that, just being aware of the paradox, is the most important step to breaking free.
Because true mastery, it's not just about how deep your knowledge is in one area. It's about pairing that depth with adaptive flexibility. It's about being able to pivot, to learn, and to connect ideas from all over the place. It's being a specialist and a generalist all rolled into one.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Take a second and ask yourself, where could your expertise be holding you back? Where is your greatest strength, maybe creating your biggest blind spot? Just thinking about that, that's your first step on the road to real mastery.